has been a while and we have a lot to catch up on. I would highly recommend grabbing a beverage for this one. I'm hoping it's not going to be too long of a video, but I honestly don't know. I haven't done this in a while. I'm a little bit nervous to make this video. So yeah, grab a beverage, relax, and let's chat. As you can tell by the intro to this video and the title as well, I have an announcement, quite a big announcement, that will probably explain the radio silence on all social media since the summer. I think that was the last time I really did anything on any social media, was about July or August. So yeah, I'm just gonna, because you guys will have put the pieces together. I am currently 24 weeks pregnant. We just hit viability. I have a baby coming this year. This is, nerve-wracking to talk about for like a whole lot of reasons. I think if you're not new to my channel, I should have introduced myself. You can tell it's been a while. Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm the Lass in Linen. I run the YouTube channel and the shop, the Lass in Linen Atelier. And I basically talk mainly about hobbies and creativity. I just love being creative. And yeah, I am currently 24 weeks pregnant. I'm not really sure like where even to start with this video. It feels like there's a lot to talk about, and I'm also trying to balance the kind of quietness and privateness that we've been enjoying for the last 6 months. But I will start from the beginning. So if you're new to my channel, I'll do a little bit of explaining, but I'm not going to go too much into it because there are videos in the backlog about it. But this is my second pregnancy in less than a year. Technically less than a year. Back in March, and if you're not new here, you may know this, my husband and I unfortunately lost a daughter. We were quite a ways into the pregnancy, so we did end up having to have a stillborn daughter in March, which was horrible and heartbreaking. And we took a while to grieve that. And there were a lot of medical things involved as well, in terms of getting tests done to make sure that we were healthy and to find out what went wrong. Like I said, I don't really want to go into that too much. I've made a whole video about it. But in August of last year now, because it's 2023, we were lucky enough to find out that we were pregnant again. We found out really, really early. I am a type 1 diabetic, so I'm a high-risk pregnancy, but it also means that my body tends to show signs of things quite early on. And yeah, I was getting symptoms pretty much it would have been about a week to 10 days after getting pregnant. You guys know. So yeah, we found out when I was about 2 weeks pregnant, very early. Immediately knew that we were keeping it quiet. We've told immediate family and friends because if we had another loss, we knew we were going to need more support, especially because it was so close together. But so far, so good. I knew at that point that I was going to need time. For a whole lot of reasons. Pregnancy is very hard on the body, even if you're a fully healthy person, nonetheless a chronically ill, high-risk pregnancy. So I've been focusing on my health for the last 6 months and putting all of my energy into that and doing just anything I can to make sure that my body is a safe home for this baby. My husband has taken on a lot so that I can get the necessary rest and relaxation. I have been knitting. I haven't done as much crafting as I would like to, but the first 3 months are physically very up and down, I think, for a lot of women in pregnancy. And once we started moving into the second trimester, mentally, I was having a very difficult time. Understandably, because it was just over halfway through the pregnancy when we lost our daughter. So I needed space to just be whatever I was going to be from day to day. And some days I was very happy, some days I was very sad. Most of the time I was very anxious and very worried. And then right before Christmas, we had our 20-week scan, which is the halfway point of the pregnancy, but it's also when we found out that our daughter had passed away. So that was about a week before Christmas, and luckily everything looks amazing. And we're having a boy. Kind of let that one slip. We are having a wee boy. He looks very healthy. He's extremely active. I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep, which is exactly how it should be. He keeps me up most of the night, keeps me up most of the day, with his kicks and rolling around. And there's just the other things involved, like the diabetes stuff and the regular pregnancy stuff. I'm starting to grow rapidly. I feel like every week I look different. My body looks different. Things fit differently. Most things just don't fit. I've got a whole half my wardrobe here that is not currently in my bedroom because it doesn't fit. And so I've just made space for things that do fit, or just new clothes that I have acquired or made myself, so that I can actually look at things that I can wear from day to day. So yeah, we basically have held off on anything until we hit 20 weeks. We bought a few wee things, but we didn't buy any big things. We didn't make any big orders. We didn't tell the public. Like I said, we told very close friends and family. And even that we staggered. I think we told our parents and my sister-in-law and my best friend, who is like a sister to me. We told them right away. And then we just kept it very quiet until we got through the first trimester. And then we widened out the group, told a few more of our friends, a few more family members, and now that we hit 20 weeks, and then we had Christmas and New Year's, and we just wanted to celebrate the fact that he was healthy and I was healthy, and just kind of enjoy the holidays. The holidays were strange, because although we are so lucky and so happy to have this little boy, the holidays this year didn't look the way we thought they were going to look, and there's its own grief. There's grief that comes along with all our happiness in this pregnancy, because nothing's quite what we hoped it would be, and that's okay, but it's still sad. So the holidays were very quiet for us. We just kept it to ourselves. We tried to focus as much as we could on all the happiness and all the really good things, and then also give ourselves space to grieve Violet, our daughter, and I'm glad we did. So yeah, at 20 weeks we decided, okay, we were going to tell people, but then the holidays happened, and we just took some time off. My husband also works in sales at an arts center and gallery, so it's the busiest time of year for him. So we just wanted to get through them before we made a big announcement like we're doing right now. Or I'm doing, but he's here in spirit. As far as kind of symptoms go, this pregnancy, I would say, physically has been a lot easier than my first pregnancy. I don't know if that's because it's my second pregnancy, and also we got pregnant really quick. and sometimes it takes a while for like pregnancy hormones to actually leave your system. So you can, if you get pregnant again really quick, you can still have hormones in your system that make the second pregnancy a lot easier. It could also just be because he's a boy. The old wives' tale is that girls make you really sick. And certainly with Violet, I was very ill in my first trimester. I was very, very ill. And with this baby, I had a couple weeks of some pretty bad nausea, but it went away really fast. And yeah, it wasn't nearly as bad. I didn't have as strong aversions, although I still can't really do bananas, which is a weird one. But that was like, that and meat was really the only huge aversions that I had, and the meat one is fine now. So yeah, I haven't, physically it's been a lot easier. I think probably obviously mentally this pregnancy's been a lot harder, because we've been balancing our happiness with a lot of grief and a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety. I won't lie, I've had tons of nightmares. The first probably 4-5 months, I think, yeah, it's probably just about the last month that the nightmares they've not gone away, but they've tapered off. So I'm also having, because of the anxiety, I'm also having a much harder time sleeping at the moment. I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep, which might prepare me for the baby depending on what he's like and what he needs. But yeah, I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep. And I'm trying to ride that wave as much as possible, because I tend to, sleep is a bit of a trigger for me for anxiety, always has been, and it can be a bit of an ugly spiral. You have anxiety, you don't sleep, that makes the anxiety worse, which means you don't sleep even more. So yeah, I'm doing my best. I've been knitting a lot. I knit mostly for me up until the last week, really, where I've actually felt safe knitting baby clothes. It's really only been the last couple weeks that I've felt like I'm able to enjoy this pregnancy and able to like claim myself as a pregnant woman. I didn't really want to do it beforehand, just in case I was disappointed again. So I haven't really been letting myself be pregnant or feel pregnant unless my body has physically stopped me from doing something, or my husband, because I am supposed to be resting. I've also just had tons of doctor's appointments, and I have to say, after this experience, I don't know that I will ever fully support anybody who majorly criticizes the NHS. I have had more support from my medical team in the last, say, year and a half, because I've been with this particular team for about a year and a half. And that whole time we've been trying to get pregnant and then getting pregnant, and then we lost that pregnancy and then pregnant again. And I've had more physical, mental, emotional support from the NHS in the last year and a half than I have had from any medical team I've had in my whole life. And that's coming from someone who sees doctors on the regular, like I said, chronically ill, totally dependent on synthetic insulin, the whole shebang. I've always had a team, as far as I can remember. I've not been diabetic my whole life, but as far back as I can go, I've always had a team of medical professionals. And the one I have right now, between my diabetes team and my obstetrics team, my midwives, antenatal, you name it, everybody is incredible. I basically live at the hospital right now. I think I go in for a scan every single month, which is not normal, but given that we have a loss, and certainly I don't know what it's like in other countries, but in the UK they make a very big deal out of keeping your stress levels low when you're pregnant. It's a huge concern, and so in order to do that, they thought for me and for Lewis, my husband, it would be helpful to have more regular scans. So I have external scans every single month. I talk to my diabetes team every 2 weeks. I have personal numbers for most of my doctors and like 3 different midwives, just in case I need help. There's a 24-hour line. I've received so much help. I even have, since we lost Violet, been in contact with a bereavement nurse who has come with me to my appointments when my husband can't make it, especially pre-20 weeks, because my anxiety was particularly high at those appointments. I just can't believe, I've been, you know, talking to my mom this whole time about it, and even my mom can't believe the level and the type of support that I've received during this pregnancy. So if anybody who works for the NHS is watching this, god damn, you people are amazing. Especially if you work in like pregnancy, maternity, delivery, fetal medicine. You guys are angels on earth for sure. Midwives in particular. I don't think I've ever respected a profession more than I respect midwives. They're not really a thing in Canada. I've only ever been pregnant in the UK. I don't know what it's like to be pregnant in Canada, where I'm from. But talking to my mom, midwives not really a thing. Obviously, we have nurses and doctors, but midwives are not really a thing. They are a huge part of pregnancy here, even for someone like me who can't have a midwife-led birth because I'm high risk, so I automatically go into a consultant-led birth, which is fine. I love my doctor. There will be midwives there, though. But I mean, I love midwives. I have not had one bad midwife. I have not had one. Every midwife I've come into the slightest bit of contact with has been understanding, compassionate. They've listened to me. They've taken the time to sit down with me. If I communicate with them, they're happy to communicate with me. Like, the back and forth is so good. Yeah, very pleased, very happy. And it's extremely reassuring. So I actually have a scan next week. When does this video go up? Yeah, it goes up in a couple days. So yeah, next week I have my 6-month scan, I guess. And I think I'll always be nervous. I'm going to be nervous until he comes out and he's screaming. And I talk to him, obviously, and I always say to him, I want you to bring the house down. I want to bring that hospital down. I want you to scream as loud as you can. Mommy needs to hear you. But yeah, at this point in the pregnancy, nervous but happy and relieved, and already feeling like we've made it so far. Hitting viability was a big one, and the fact that we've just hit it, it feels amazing. It feels so good. So yeah, very happy. But speaking of that, I kind of alluded to the fact that I have been working on projects for the last few months, and I've just started my first baby project. So I wanted to go through I have a finished object, you guys. I have a finished object. And usually I would try on things for you. I might enter some B-roll, but I want to show you in its full. Basically, this was a project I started April, and so the measurements are for my body not pregnant. So it fits at the moment, but it fits differently. I will enter some B-roll of me styling it with the bump, but in order to do that, you won't see the full item. So I'm just going to show you guys first. But I made my first jumper. So I'm so happy with it. There's things I would change for sure. And there are mistakes in it. It's not perfect. But it is a wearable jumper that if you don't look super closely, and if you're not a knitter, I don't think you would necessarily notice the mistakes. And that makes me very happy. So yeah, I started this, I think it was April, because I was at that point in my grief where I was like, I need a distraction, I need something new. And I also was just, usually I'm someone who gets very intimidated by new projects that I know I'm going to be required to learn a lot. And I was at the point where I was a little bit angry and thought, well, if I can do what I just did in March, I can make a jumper, you know? So I just cast it. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I just cast it on. And yeah, if it took a few months because I'm a very slow knitter. But I made it and I can wear it and I have been wearing it and it makes me very happy. So this is the Novice Jumper by Petite Knit, which I think is a fairly common project to start with. It's a one piece in the round knit up jumper and it's a great project to start with. I think a lot of people start with this jumper. So this is it. I chose this like mossy green because I wear a lot of green and I just love it so much. It's so soft. It's held double strand. So I'm trying to remember. I think it's silk mohair and some kind of wool. I cannot remember for the life of me. But it's the called for yarn. I just changed the color that she uses in the pattern. I think she uses like a beige. It is the yarn that she calls for in the pattern. I just wanted a green jumper. So this is it. It's nice and long because I am fairly tall. So a couple things I would do differently is one, my tension's actually overall okay. But there are a couple places, especially in the sleeves, where it's a little bit loose. And you can kind of tell just even looking at the sleeves themselves, like some random stitches are just kind of loose looking. I did manage to fix those with like sewing in the ends afterwards, so it's not so noticeable from the outside. The other thing is that the sleeves, which are just a straight purl one knit one rib, they're a little loose. I would probably tighten this up. I might even go down a needle size for the rib in the sleeves and the bottom. Also, the bottom, my bind off is too tight. So like when you put it on, you can really feel that it's like, it's not stretchy. I don't think I did the right bind off, or I just did it too tight. Anyway, other than that, I am happy with it. And those are minor issues. I think especially for a first jumper, I am so pleased with how this looks. I like my jumpers to be like slightly oversized and layerable, if that's a word. I live in a very cold climate. I currently live on the east coast of Scotland. It's windy, very windy, and the weather's really variable and the winters are very long. So I wanted something that was oversized and layerable. Now, when I show you the B-roll, I probably won't look oversized, but when I took the measurements, it was oversized. It's not so much oversized anymore. But that's okay. It still fits and it's still comfortable and it's still warm, and that's what matters. Also, the yarn is so soft. Did I already say that? The yarn is so soft and it's so nice and warm. So this is the only finished object I have to show you, mainly because I can't remember the finished objects I last showed you. I have finished a few pairs of socks, one of which was a Christmas present, so I don't have them anymore. I do have 2 pairs of socks that I finished, but I don't have them with me. I've been wearing them. They've been finished for months, but they are on my Instagram if you would like to see them. My first pair was like a coffee color pair, and the second pair was like I think the yarn was called Wisteria, and it's got like pale like purples and pinks and greens, and they're very springy colored because I knit them in the spring. Both pairs I have pictures of on my Instagram, so if you want to check those out, definitely go over there. But other than that, I think the only other finished object I have, and the big news is my first jumper. So I'm very pleased with that. And then I wanted to talk you through a couple of my current WIPs. Most of these are knitting, although there is a crochet WIP and a cross stitch WIP. Because I'm just talking through everything that's kind of in my focus. The big one that I just started, I'm so excited. I wanted to show you what I got done. It's right here, but I'll show you the pattern. So because I don't have very much to show you at the moment, I'm just going to show you the pictures that I have. This is in black and white, but I am using the called for yarn and actually the original colors in the pattern because I just love them. And it is the Petite Knit Seaside set. So this is my first baby knit. I'm so excited. It's so small. So I just finished, I decided to work on the trousers first because they looked slightly less complicated. The jumper has like a button placket and it's really small and it's really cute. And I'm sure it'll be fine, but I got a little scared. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the trousers first. And I have done just the waistband of the trousers in this like red brick color. The color is, well, the yarn is Sunday by Petite Knit. It's her like baby yarn, I think. And it's 100% merino wool. And I don't know what color it is, but it is the wool she uses in the pattern. So if you decide to go for the pattern, that's the wool I used. And this is so tiny. This is the waistband. Oh, I keep looking at it and going, it's so small. Like I keep saying to my husband, it's so small. I can't believe he's gonna fit these. So yeah, I haven't had to use any new techniques yet, but I know that the next thing I have to do is German short rows, which I've never done before. So, you know, I'm learning lots of new things, which is great. So the Seaside set is a pair of trousers and a striped jumper. So that's the first thing I'll be making. Petite Knit has so many good baby knits, so I'm hoping to make at least a couple more before the baby comes, but like I've said in the past, and I will continue saying, I'm a very slow knitter. I do it purely because I like it. So I don't know exactly how long it's going to take me, but yeah, I'm enjoying the process and I'm enjoying making up baby knits. The nice thing about baby knits is that obviously they are smaller, so they do work up a little bit faster, or they tend to anyway. So I've been working on that mainly. I just started the waistband like 2 days ago and finished it last night. So hopefully I'll have an update on that soon. One of the other projects I'm working on was supposed to be a Christmas present, but I didn't get finished in time because I was sick for a while, not feeling well. And also, it's only the last couple weeks that I haven't had to have 2 or 3 naps a day. So I was sleeping a lot. And I will, you know, I still need a lot more sleep, especially because I'm not sleeping largely at night. But I'm doing, you know, the best. I have a little bit more energy. I had the same thing with my last pregnancy. I did not get, and I have not gotten the like second trimester energy boost. I have more energy than I did, I don't know, up until like 18, 19 weeks is when I was exhausted. But I'm still pretty tired. Like I said, not sleeping very well at night. So I still have a nap probably half the days of the week. It's just that it's not every day necessarily, and I don't need multiple naps anymore. But this was a pair of socks. I also forgot to mention the socks that I made myself that you can see on Instagram. They are the Crazy Sock Lady vanilla sock pattern. These are the same, but these are color work socks, and these are from my husband. Now he does know these are coming, so I can show you guys. And I don't think he even watches my videos, but I've only gotten one leg done of one sock. So clearly didn't get them done in time for Christmas. The main gray color that I'm using, let me see if I can get yes, here we go. It's just the color Slate Gray, 1405 is the number, and it's by Paintbox Yarn. It's their just sock solid yarn. The contrast that I'm using is one from Pigment and Ply, who is undoubtedly my favorite indie yarn dyer. Jess is Pigment and Ply, and she is incredible. Her creativity, her colorways, I just don't think you can find anything like it anywhere else. I think she's incredible. She's done a collection inspired by The Witcher, which I love because I love The Witcher. So I did buy a bunch of that. I also bought the jumper that she came out with for that says toss a coin to your knitter. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, nerd moment over, but her main thing is dyeing yarn inspired by paintings and artists. And not this past Christmas, but the one before, she came out with a Christmas to New Year's Advent inspired by William Morris. And anybody who knows me knows that I adore William Morris. So I had to get it. So it was, I can't remember how many, 12? I think it was 12 minis that I went for. I went for the 50 gram minis, if I remember correctly. Oh no, 100 gram. And this color is Pheasant in the Forest. So like I said, each one is inspired by a different piece of artwork by William Morris. So Pheasant in the Forest is an artwork by him, and these are the colors that she dyed up with. I got my husband to choose what color he wanted. So I'm going to be using this for the cuff, the heel, and the toe. I've never done contrasting on the vanilla sock knit. It's the first time I'm doing that, the vanilla sock pattern. Yeah. But the nice thing about Crazy Sock Lady is, or Kate, I think it's Kate, is that she has tons of tutorials on her YouTube channel, and one of them is for doing contrasts, like contrasting heels and toes and cuffs, and how to do that for the vanilla sock pattern. So I'm just using her online tutorials for that one. And hopefully I will make headway on this soon. Socks tend to be my knit when I'm need something mindless, because I've now done 3 or 4 pairs of them, and they're fun, they're easy, they don't take a whole lot. I mean, the heel takes a fair amount of attention, but other than the heel, they don't really take much. So I love to do it while I'm watching movies or TV or listening to audiobooks or something. It's really great. The last knit project I have to show you, I also started in the spring, kind of alongside my jumper, but it's on hold because of baby stuff. And this is a selfish knit. Obviously, I was not sure that I was going to be pregnant at any point in the next year, so I just started this, and then I got pregnant and I kind of stopped knitting for a while, and then yeah, I've just been focusing on gifts and baby stuff. So where is the pattern? There we go. So this is unsurprisingly another petite knit pattern, but it's for me, and you have to excuse my notes. I had to make a gauge because I went with different yarn, and so I made notes on what I'm going to use and how to change the pattern. But it is the June top by Petite Knit. It's just a tank top, basically. It's just a tank top, but I don't have anything like this, and once again it has new techniques to me. I've never done I-cord. I've never had to make straps for anything in a knit, so I thought it would be fun to do. I did end up finishing the body, and then I kind of stopped because I had to do the straps, and then life changed. So yeah, I haven't really touched it since, but I love the yarn, and I don't know if you can even get this yarn anymore, but this is It's all crumpled because it's been up in a bag. I saw someone else make this top with this yarn and I was like, I want that. I want that top in that yarn. And so I went for it. This is the, oh, here's a little swatch actually that kind of shows you the yarn. You can see it a little bit. Oh, it's so pretty. I love the colors, and I just think for the summer, for the spring and summer, this is going to be so nice. I am hoping it will fit because obviously this is pre-pregnancy measurements, but we'll make it work. Whatever happens, I will make it work. I won't be pregnant this summer, so that'll be good. The yarn is a Noro. So I can't tell from the tag if it's the Noro Silk Garden or Silk Sport yarn. I think it's the Sport one, but I have two skeins of it. So obviously I've got that skein that's on the needles, but I did get a second one. And it's color number 1. So they don't usually have names. Yeah, kind of hard to tell, but it is color 1 and I love it so much. I actually really wanted this color for another project, but I couldn't. It's very expensive yarn and I couldn't afford it at the time, and now, as far as I can tell, it is nowhere to be found. You can't get it anywhere. I can't find the yarn I need, so that's unfortunate. But I am loving the way this top is knitting up. I think it's going to be just, oh, I can't wait to wear this. I love the colors so much. I love it so much. So it's on the back burner because it's not a top priority. I think I'm going to probably get back to it after baby boy makes his appearance. Because my due date's in May, but I think he might come in April. So after he makes his appearance, I'll obviously still be knitting for him a lot, but I think at that point I'll feel a little bit more ready to get back into more selfish knits. Also, you'll have to excuse the fact that I'm using plastic bags. It's all I have, but I will be making up some project bags soon for myself because I desperately need them, but also for the shop. Although I think I have a couple left in the shop. If you need a project bag like this one, I have them in different sizes, different fabrics, and my shop is always linked. Little self-plug there. So yeah, I'm going to be making up some bags very soon. But then 2 other projects I have, not much to show you, so I'll just do them real quick. The first one I will show you is a cross stitch project, and it is huge. And I am so at the beginning of this project, so I have very little to show you. The picture in the pattern is actually really small, so I'll insert a picture here. It is the heartstring samplery Consider the Lilies pattern. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. It's beautiful, but it's going to take me ages, and I'm not working on it very quickly. So I've got everything in my project bag except for the actual project because I was working on it. Sorry, I keep talking when I go off camera. I was working on it a little while ago, but I am just doing the border. I don't even think I'm halfway across the top of the border. In fact, I'm sure I'm not. So yeah, it's going slowly, but well. I mean, once again, my hobbies are just things I like to do because I enjoy the process. I am looking forward to seeing the end result of that one, though. It's, like I said, absolutely massive. I'm going to be working on smaller projects in between just to get the satisfaction of finishing things. But I'm enjoying that. It's a really fun project to do, and it's just such a beautiful piece. Beth at Heartstring Samplery makes incredible patterns. I've got so many on my wish list. And this is actually the companion piece to her first super large piece, which is His Eye on the Sparrow. They're both based off of Bible verses. But Consider the Lilies is one of my favorite, or Consider the Wildflowers, depending on which translation you read, is one of my favorite verses of all time. So I knew I wanted to start with that one. And I'm looking forward to getting more into it, but also seeing the finished product and getting it framed and hung up in the house. It's going to be amazing. And the last project is a crochet project that I started once again in the spring and haven't really picked up since, because I started focusing on knitting. So I do actually have some color photos of this one. It is the Debbie Bliss, oh, I'm gonna butcher this, the Dulcie or the Dulce blanket. It's a crochet blanket, and it's basically just granny squares and then a border. But I really like the colors, and there's a good picture. That's what it'll end up looking like. I like that it's got kind of a quilt feel to it, because as you guys know, I love to quilt. I do a lot of quilting, although I'm not currently working. Well, I guess I do have an unfinished quilt top in the back that I need to fix. But all that needs is like the actual quilting, backing and binding, and then it's done. But yeah, I like that kind of quilty feel. So I've done a bunch of the squares, but I've not joined anything together. I don't have much to show. Here's one of them. And I obviously haven't put in the ends yet. Yeah, I'm just going to work on this slowly. I think it'll be a cute blanket in the spring, especially for the garden, for the baby. I did kind of have baby in mind, even though I wasn't pregnant when I picked it up. I kind of thought this would be nice for a baby when I saw it. So yeah, I went for it and I'm enjoying it. It's crochet, especially if it's like granny squares, is another kind of nice thing to have if you're watching TV or you're like me and really need stimulus while you're watching TV. It's nice to have something in your hands because I can get quite restless. And that's the end. That is all my current projects, my finished objects, and big announcement, I guess. This has been so nice. It's obviously been so long since I've been able to do this. I've got a ton of projects planned for the next little while, for the baby, for myself. So many different things that I've never made before. There's one that'll probably be the next baby project I make, which is like a stuffed animal. I've never done that before. I'm really excited for what's to come, and what I'll be able to share with you guys. I've got lots of videos planned, and as always, I am hoping to be fairly consistent over the next few months. The closer we get to baby, no promises. And after he gets here, it's going to be a play-by-ear situation for sure. I am gonna likely be a lot more active on Instagram and TikTok, which I've gotten really into. I didn't see that one coming, but I downloaded TikTok a few months ago and I'm addicted. I'm completely addicted, and now I want to make TikToks because I like watching them so much. So yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram or TikTok, all of that's down below. And my shop is back open now that the holidays are over, and will be open until April, and then we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll see how I'm feeling, and we'll see what the doctor says about the baby, and we'll play it by ear. But up until about the beginning of April, hopefully I should be a little bit more consistent and available, and yeah, just active, because I have missed it. I have also enjoyed being private, and I have enjoyed spending the last 6 months getting to know my body and getting to know this baby. But it's going to be nice to feel a little bit more in with the world, I guess, is the words I'm looking for. I hope whatever projects you guys currently have on the go, whatever creativity you're working on, I hope they're going well. If you liked this video, please do give it a like and maybe leave a comment down below. I'd love to interact with you. Again, if you're new here and you want to see more of my videos, don't forget to subscribe. That way they will pop up in your subscription feed. And until next time, I will see you guys in my next video.